Compromise is a great tool for most relationships. It can really help us meet each other halfway, find win-win solutions, and perpetuate a mutually beneficial reciprocal relationship. But compromise does not work with narcissists. Narcissists have their own version of compromise, and if we're not careful, we can get sucked into their warped, distorted, unfair idea of what compromise should look like. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. To start off simply, I'll just give some examples of what a healthy compromise or an actual compromise might look like versus what a compromise with a narcissist will look like. In a healthy relationship, you might agree to go see a movie with somebody, a movie that you really don't want to see, but they want to see it. If they agree to buy the popcorn, okay, I'll go to the movie with you if you buy the popcorn. That's a compromise. It's a win-win. You get free popcorn and they get company to a movie that you didn't really want to see that much. With a narcissist, it's more like, hey, you better come see this movie with me or I'm going to call you names and call you selfish and throw a tantrum for the next 6 months. So this can feel like a compromise after we get used to this kind of manipulation and tormented existence. We might get to the point where we feel like, okay, well, if I go to the movie that I really don't want to see, then he won't yell and scream at me or call me names for the next 6 months. That sounds like a pretty good deal. In a healthy relationship, maybe if somebody needs a ride to a job interview, you agree, I'll give you a ride to the job interview if you don't mind me dropping you off a half hour early because I've got to get to this other place. That's a compromise. Whereas with a narcissist, it might be more like, well, you better give me a ride to this job interview, otherwise I'm going to blame you for the fact that I don't have a job. So in a healthy relationship, a compromise it's pretty simple. I'll do something that you would like if you do something that I would like. And if we both agree that it's a pretty good deal, that's a compromise. I'll give up a little bit of something and you give up a little bit of something. Win-win. But with a narcissist, a compromise looks more like, do what I want, do what I tell you, and I won't yell at you. Do everything that I ask of you, and I won't torment you and abuse you. Of course, I'm going to get into later how even this isn't the deal that you end up with. You really end up in this endless circle, hamster wheel of trying to make the narcissist happy, and it never really works. One of the problems we run into when we try to compromise with narcissists is that real good compromise comes from respect, mutual respect, respect for the relationship, and trust. And narcissists don't have any of this. They don't respect you. They don't trust you. They are on this constant lookout of who's trying to screw me over, who's trying to take advantage of me. And when they have to give even a little bit of something they don't really want to give you, they can't see anything you're giving up for them. They just feel cheated. They feel robbed, manipulated. They feel like you're trying to trick them. And a lot of this is projection because that's what they're constantly trying to do to other people. And it's kind of this really vicious circle that they are permanently trapped in because one of the reasons they're constantly trying to trick everybody into doing everything they want and trying to manipulate everyone and control everyone is because they think that's what everybody's trying to do to them. So when you approach them with honest intentions, trying to come up with a compromise, all they see is a mirror. They see somebody trying to trick them, manipulate them, control them, and take advantage of them. And so they're right there trying to nip that in the bud and make sure that you don't get away with any of that. And that's why they're so unwilling to truly compromise and why they move the goalposts so far into their field that after a while, you might actually start to feel like you're compromising with them when you're actually not getting anything out of the deal. You're losing and they are gaining everything. A narcissist's compromise is always going to be about control and intimidation. It's like they're running a race with you and you're running this race with them. You're competing with each other, except you don't even realize you're doing this. You are losing a competition that you never signed up for. And you can become conditioned over time to feel as if appeasing them is so rewarding for you that it's actually some sort of compromise. Because what you hope to get out of appeasing them is that they treat you with some tiny bit of respect or decency, at least for a little bit of time. What's really happening here is you become so accustomed to being treated like crap, or being treated like you don't matter, or being insulted or criticized all the time. You become so accustomed to that being treated with just very basic civility and decency feels like you're getting a lot. It feels like, wow, this is really wonderful. Wow, he's being so nice, or she's being so great, so generous. Wow, this is wonderful. And this is where trauma bonds are formed. Trauma bonds form because we never know when we're going to hit that next moment of being treated like we're a human being. And just the most simple basic acts of kindness, or even the most simple basic acts of not being mean, can really give us a kind of such a huge flood of relief that it's like a drug high. And this is kind of bleeding over into the ways that narcissists compromise. It feels like such a huge reward to be treated with any civility or decency, or just not to be yelled at, that by appeasing the narcissist and just doing whatever they want, it feels like we're getting something out of it. It feels like a win-win. It feels like, okay, I'll clean the bathroom the way that she wants, and then I feel pretty safe that she's not going to yell and scream at me all day long because of the wrong way that I did it. And that can feel such a relief that we actually think that we're getting something out of it. And I really think that this is a technique that narcissists use to get people to do what they want, to control people, to have people doing their bidding, to have people feel like they're actually in some sort of win-win situation, when really they're just bending over backwards, endlessly trying to do everything the narcissist wants. And as I said a little earlier, the real dirty trick here is that even that doesn't really happen. When we bend over backwards to do everything the narcissist wants, the narcissist just further pushes us, punishes us, criticizes us. They might give us a moment of respite. They might give us a break and maybe even be nice here and there. But all that does is further strengthen this trauma bond and further condition us to think that being treated with any civility is this great reward that we have to keep chasing after. I think one of the most important things to understand when you are dealing with a pathological narcissist is that when you compromise with them in a way that they perceive as compromise, they will keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you and pushing you. And there's no end to how far they will push you. They have absolutely no appreciation for anything that you give up. They are pathologically entitled. And no matter how much you give to a narcissist always expects more. It can never, ever be enough, because a narcissist is just a huge emotional black void, an enormous gaping black hole of endless need that no one can ever possibly fill. And they feel absolutely entitled to all of your time and resources, and then some, and then double it, and then triple it, because it's never ever going to be enough. And I think it's really sad that a lot of us can get trapped in this endless cycle of trying to make them happy and then actually feeling like we're getting something out of it if we might be treated with some civility later. When in reality, every time we give in to a narcissist's unreasonable demands, every time we are unable or unwilling to push back and say, no, I've given enough, I'm done compromising. Every time we try to appease them, thinking we're going to get some reward out of it, we actually hurt ourselves. We actually do ourselves a disservice, and we help them move the goalpost further into their area. We're running on this endless hamster wheel, trying to make them happy, trying to fix the problems in the relationship. And really, all we're doing is we're communicating to them that, hey, the worse you treat me, the more you demand of me, the more critical you are, and the less appreciative, the more I'm going to try. I'm going to try to give you more and more and more until it's enough. But it's never, ever enough. And I don't know if the narcissist is conscious of that, because it seems like so many of them are stuck in this angry at you for not filling their endless impossible needs. I'm sure some of them are aware that they're being extremely unfair and that they're never happy no matter what. But I think that it's a lot easier for them emotionally to really convince themselves that it's all your fault and that you owe it to them, all those things that you didn't really want to do. You owe it to them. And then after you've done all those things, you owe them more. They're still upset with you because they still don't feel fulfilled. They still don't feel satisfied. They still don't feel happy. And it's so much easier to pretend that it's your fault. Narcissists are bullies. They will take and take and take and take from you until you are completely drained and there's nothing left. And not only will they not be appreciative, but once you can't give anymore, once you can't take it, or you just collapse from exhaustion, they'll just move on to somebody else, and they will resent you for not being able to meet their needs, and they will complain about you behind your back, or they'll twist the narrative to make it seem as if you're the one that never tried, never cared, never listened to them, never did what they wanted. If I could come up with 2 words to describe a narcissist, they would be unfair and unappreciative. If you are able to do so, next time you approach a situation in which you need to compromise with a narcissist, I think the best thing for you to do is step back, look at the situation, and really think about what is fair here. What is a fair amount of whatever it is I should be doing for this person? What do I feel good about? And then do whatever that is, and stop negotiating with terrorists. Stop compromising with someone who can never ever have enough. Do what you think is fair. And when this person whines and complains and throws tantrums, just remind yourself that this is an unappreciative bully that will never be happy until you are completely drained of everything you've ever had. You owe no apology to someone that doesn't appreciate anything you do and someone that feels entitled to everything you have. So if you can, take your power back from these people that try to sell you brief moments of civility in exchange for more than you could ever possibly give them. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.